Good morning. Welcome to River Valley Landscaping. My name is Michelle, but I really prefer Misty. Today we are going to plant some fall planters because I don't know about you, but it feels like fall anymore. It's just getting kind of cool and the colors are beautiful, and my spring stuff and my summer stuff is kind of looking a little sad, so I'm ready to gear up and do something new. This is what I have grown this year to put into my mixed baskets. This is a bushel basket, and I'm also going to be planting a peck for you later. These baskets are going to carry themselves. They're great color, great size. They can go virtually anywhere beside your door, on your deck. Very versatile. Anyway, let's get started. First off, I'm going to have to put some dirt in this guy and get something in the bottom. And then as I'm doing this and I'm looking over here, I'm trying to decide what I want to do with it. Now with any planters that you plant, you have options, and you got to kind of know where you want this to go. Am I going to put it up against a house? Am I going to put it on the middle of the patio where I'm going to walk around it and see it from all sides? Most of the planters that I do tend to go up against something, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. Now because this has handles, I'm going to make sure, and I'm doing this facing me, I know you're seeing it from the side, but I want to make sure my handles are on the sides with this particular basket. So I'm going to be putting my height to the basket, and I guess I'm going to turn a little bit to the side so maybe you can see me a little bit better. But anyway, my height is going to come either from, in this instance, I've got some millet here, and it's awesome, and I've got some of this red grass. This is a bigger basket. The grass seems to be a little bit poofier, so I'm going to use the red grass for my height on this one. So basically, we're just going to start creating. Find a place for that to go. Don't need the tags. So I'm going to put this in. Now, I know you're not going to be seeing this very well, but these things will take a lot of water. And I'm going to put a lot of stuff in a small area, so we really need to water heavily. So I want to make sure I give this thing a good 1 to 2 inches worth of headspace on the top so that when you're watering, the dirt doesn't all come flying out. So it's setting a little bit deeper than, say, I would maybe normally do, but like I said, I'm going to really put a lot of stuff in here because I want it to be a big, full basket. It's got a short season, and I want it to look wonderful right from the start. I don't want to have to wait months for it to fill out and do its thing. So I've got my grass in. I'm going to make sure the prettiest side is out because they always have a front and a back. So you're going to spin it around, make sure it looks good. Now I'm going to go from high down to low. So on the two sides I need something that's a little bit height, and I like the marigold. Now while I'm thinking about what I'm putting for my accents, right now I've got a purple mum and a yellow mum. So if I put the yellow mum in, I don't want to back it up with the yellow. I want to keep as much color as I can. So I'm thinking this one is going to have the purple in it. So I'm going to pull that one out just so I know that that's what I'm going to use. And it's going to go a little bit more into the front. And I'm going to set it off to the side. So I know that's what I'm going to use. So now I leave my options open for the yellow. So I'm going to go with the yellow marigold. Throw that out of the way. And I'm going to set him down in here. And as I'm doing it, I look for any blooms that might be a little bit spent, which this one has. And we've talked about this before. Every time you deny a flower its bloom, you're going to force it to keep producing flowers. So anytime I can take a flower off, gives me more flowers. So I've got height coming down. Now I need a little bit something here on the side. What should we pick? Got yellow here, so maybe not the Denver daisies. Let's do, I've got an orange. Oh, I know, let's do kale. It's still got some height to it, but it's going to fill in nicely. Throw the pot off to the side. And this one, I'm really going to have to kind of crunch it back in there so it doesn't take up too much room. I'm going to rearrange a few leaves so it has a nice flow to it. I'm not taking away anything. And as I'm planting, because these things are so full, I'm going to make sure I keep putting my dirt in all the crevices, because once I get this thing full, I don't have much room in there to maneuver. Okay, so we got high, we're coming down, now let's sweep in front. And we need something with some pretty color. I like these peppers. I like the texture. It's light. It's smaller leaves. When you put it in compared to this, they make the two pop away from each other because they're such different sizes of leaves. So this is going to go in here, and I guess I'm going to need a little bit more dirt. It's a more shallow. So I need to build it up just a little bit so it doesn't get lost down in there. And in that goes. Now I need my color, my mauve. And this is the one that everybody wants. Now my pot is rather large and I've got a small spot. So I'm going to have to take this and I'm going to have to knock some of this dirt off. As long as I don't disrupt the roots too bad, it doesn't even know I've done anything to it. Now you can see on here it's kind of one-sided, which is fine in these things because I'm going to tip it in here the way I want it to grow anyway. And I'm going to push it. Like I said, I really fill these things up and I really get them crammed because I don't want it to look half full. So, height, we're coming down, filled in a spot, down, sweep. I need one more thing down in front. Now, options are, I've got this beautiful lantana. We've talked about this summer. It's super hardy. Does a really nice job. It will eventually drape. That would be an option. I've got some potato vine that we can put in the front and have it sweeping down ahead of time. I've also got the gazinias, and we talked about these before too. And it's not going to sweep, but it'll fill in this little hole. Now these, here's a flower that needs to come off. These are going to be asleep in the morning, so they're just starting to open up. But I think I kind of like the sweeping more. This is giving me some, but I think I want more. So I'm going to go ahead. This is the one. Too much. Let's go back to this one. We're going to go with the potato vine. So again, take out the pot. Now I've got a small space, but it's rather deep. So I'm going to fill up that spot so that it doesn't get lost down into the pot. I'm going to push down in there, make sure everything is good and set. This guy's going in. And I'm going to fill up the gap right here. Like I said, when you get it all full, you can barely get your hand in there. And you got to make sure that you fill all these little gaps. You can't see what I'm feeling, but there's a couple of voids in here that I need to make sure. I don't want the roots to be exposed in the air. And even though it's all in here, I got to make sure that everything is covered so that it grows and is big and healthy and beautiful all fall. Got some leaves here that are a little bit not desirable. Take those out. And we did it. This is ready for display. Okay, so we did our bushel basket. This is a peck. Now it's a much smaller basket, so I'm only going to get about 3 things in. The bushel basket, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things in. This one, 3, I might be able to get 4. So it's just a lot smaller. Same rules apply. I need to make sure that I want to fill it full because I want it to grow. I don't want it to have to grow to fill. I want to fill now because the season is so short. So let's put some stuff in here. Let's get a bunch of color and let's have some fun. So again, I'm going to fill up my basket. Now I'm going to use millet. The bushel basket, because it's so big, I use the grass. But this I'm going to use, I get a lot of height. This is so much fun. But it's a lot thinner at the base, so it's a lot easier to put more stuff into it. It doesn't fill up quite as fast. And this is really gone to town with the growth. So I've got to get some of these roots off of here so I can get the pot off. Now this is a gallon pot, so it's going to have to go way down deep. So that's why I didn't put much dirt in, because it's basically sitting on the bottom of this. Now again, I'm going to kind of do it. You're going to have to look over my shoulder. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. This just came in from the growing section, so it needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. Just get all the little leaves, you know, off of it, and any other garbage that might be flying in there. And then I'm also going to look at this, because it has a growth habit. I want to make sure I position it so that it's nice and straight. And then I'm going to have to put some more dirt in, because the rest of the things I'm putting in don't have such a deep pot, so it's going to have to get a little bit of built up. We're going to go with the yellow mum this time. The bushel we did in purple, but this yellow mum we're going to use. It's full. Again, I'm going to have to take some of this dirt off, otherwise I'm never going to get anything else in this basket. So I'm going to kick off some of this dirt, get rid of the tag. Like I said, it looks like I'm kind of abusing the poor thing, but I'm just really knocking off any of this loose dirt, taking away some of the bulk at the base so that I can get this in. Now, if you notice, it's kind of thin right here, so I'm going to just turn it a little bit so the big part is facing out here. And I'm going to get that pushed in. We got room for maybe 2 more things, and I need something maybe that's going to droop down in the front and something that's going to stand up a little bit here on the side. I'm not sure. I think this might be too tall, so let's give this a look and see. I think it's a little bit too tall, so let's maybe push this one off. I need something that's going to fill this area, so let's try this one. This is that lantana. We talked about it earlier this summer. All I'm doing right now is I'm just knocking off some of the flowers that are about spent, and I'm going to take the little flower heads off because I want to deny the flower. Again, we've talked about this. Denying the flower produces more flowers. Denying the seed of the flower produces more flowers. So anytime we can do that, we're giving ourselves more blooms later. So I'm going to put this in. Much better. Kind of fills up that space. Take this out. Now this one I'm going to have to dig a little bit, maybe more at the root ball of this millet so I can get it in nice and tight. Like so. Then I've got one more spot. Now I'd love to have something that kind of gets a little bit of a droop down. This is awesome. It comes in the spring, but it usually, for me, it takes all season before this little guy really starts to shine and really fill out and do this. These little fuzzy red flowers, they're just cool. And it does a great job of droopy, of kind of cascading over the front of this basket. So let's use this guy, see what he looks like. Again, he's a little bit shallow, the dirt, and I've got my dirt is way down in here. So if I put it in now, it would get swallowed up in the pot. So I'm going to have to grab a handful of dirt. I'm going to have to build this up just a little bit so that he doesn't get lost when I get him placed in here. And in he goes. Give him a good push. Set him in. Make sure all the voids are filled. Now, on this one, like the bushel basket, I planted it one-sided. But when I turn this around, he's really bare back here because this is not as full as that grass was. So, as an afterthought, just to make sure it's nice and full, let's throw in some gazinias. Again, we talked about these this summer, about how nice they are. Now these guys don't open until later on in the morning. It's kind of early for them right now. They close up at night and then open up in the day. So it'd be a good place to hide it in the back, and it's small enough. The pot is rather deep, so I'm going to have to knock off some of this to get him to fit. Again, and I'm going to have to dig out a little bit of this dirt so that I can get him shoved down in there pretty good. I'm going to work him into position, and give him a good push, let him fill. And on this side, why don't we stick another lantana in? And you can't see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is I'm just kind of working my hand down beside this millet, and I'm getting rid of some of this dirt. And I'm going to put this in, clean him up a little bit. Because again, I've just got them growing outside, kind of mass production. So I don't have time to really go through them every day and make them pretty, but this is the time I do. I'm going to pull him out. And I'm going to have to knock some of his dirt off too. The hole's not very big, but it'll look really full. And actually, you can almost see this thing from all sides now because there's really no dead spot. I'll wiggle him in position. I'm going to give him a good shove down in. Make sure he's setting in there really good. And now I've filled the back too, so it's almost just as pretty from the back as it is from the front. And one last check to make sure all the voids are full, which they all feel like it. And it's done. Have a good day.